On April 7, my manager cut 38 minutes from my shift. I lost $52. On April 9, I pulled the logs. One audit and two screenshots, forced to pay out by Friday. My name is Amber. I am 27. I work evening shifts at Northline Market as a cashier and closer. For months, I clocked in on time and stayed late to finish pallets. My manager, Mark, trims minutes from closing shifts and calls it rounding. Breaks vanish. Overtime disappears. I kept my own notes, saved stubs, and watched the edits stack up. This is the week I stopped swallowing it. You will hear dates, amounts, and receipts. I will show how a clean audit, with logs and camera timestamps, turned the tables. Monday, April 7. Produce aisle. I clocked in at 2:02 p.m. The shift ran heavy from the start. A late truck stacked the back room with soft crates that sagged at the corners. I moved the pallets to the cooler, reset the wet rack, then ran front for a rush at 7:15. One 30-minute break at 6:12. I tagged out at 10:31 p.m. Chrono showed 8 hours, 29 minutes worked. My notes matched the digits. Tuesday morning at 9:40, I opened the portal. Monday showed 8.0, not 8:29. Someone clipped 29 minutes. My weekly total now sat at 39.7, not 40.2. Overtime gone, night premium trimmed. I walked to Mark's office at 10:05. The door was half open. He scrolled through the time grid on his screen. "Why does Monday show 8 hours?" I asked. "Rounding, store policy," he said. "Send the policy PDF," I said. "It is internal, management only," he said. I kept my face still. I walked out and opened Chronos again. The change log showed edit by M. Hart at 09:11. I saved the screen. I pulled the camera feed from the produce monitor. The overlay showed 22:29:52, me locking the cooler. 22:31:08, me punching out. I wrote those times in my notes. At noon, payroll pushed the preview stub. The difference for the week came to $52.20 after taxes. I printed the stub in the copy room. I also starred an old text from Mark. March 24. Close at 10:30, no overtime on closes. Short line, clear order. Next, I checked with two coworkers. Nina in bakery showed me her portal on her phone. Sunday dropped from 7:54 to 7:30. Darnell at front lost 18 minutes over 2 days. Same edit tag each time. M. Hart. Both frowned, then shrugged. People get tired, bills stay due. I sent Mark an email at 12:47. Subject: Request for timesheet correction, 7 April. Body: Clock in, 14:02. Break, 18:12 to 18:42. Clock out, 22:31. Portal shows 8.0. Chrono shows 8:29. Requesting restoration of 029. Screenshots attached. He replied at 1:06. Rounding within store limits. No change. My shift started at 2. Mark assigned me the full truck unload solo. He stood near the dock and thumbed his phone like a stopwatch. At 6:40, I asked for the second break owed on more than 8 hours. He said, "You took too long on pallets. Skip it." I logged the time and his words in my notes. Short lines, no emotion. Small win. I kept every receipt. Change log, camera times, preview stub, text orders. Small loss. Payroll locks on Wednesday mornings. Once it locks, money waits a cycle. A hallway fight would not move anything. I needed a lever that bites fast. I opened the handbook link in my onboarding email. Dead page. I tried the public site. Dead again. Fine. Policy talk goes nowhere. Logs speak. Names on edits speak louder. I had both. One question sat in my mind as the dock door rattled shut at 10:18. How do I force a correction before payroll locks on Wednesday morning? And how do I stop future edits without a single shouted word? Tuesday, 3:15 p.m. Attempt 1. Use the official path. I opened Chronos and filed a punch edit request for 029 on April 7. I attached 3 items: the raw punch times from the app, a screenshot of the change log with edit by M. Hart at 09:11, 2 stills from the produce camera with the 22:29:52 and 22:31:08 overlays. I wrote one line in the notes field. Requesting restoration of 029 removed after shift end. The system stamped request ID 44129. I took a photo of the confirmation window. At 3:41 p.m., the status flipped to declined. Manager comment, rounding within store limits. I saved that screen. I walked to the office. Mark watched the doc feed on his monitor. I stood in the doorway. The request shows declined, I said. Store limits, he said. This keeps payroll clean. Policy PDF. Send the link, he said. It is internal, management only. He pointed at the doc camera and smiled. I left without another word. I looked for a second approver. Our assistant manager, Paula, handled training and opens. She stood by the safe counting tills. I asked for a copy of the written policy or a contact in HR who owns timekeeping. She shook her head. She said, edits route to the manager on duty. My login will not override. She printed the weekly schedule grid to show coverage. No policy text on that page. I kept the print anyway. It shows my assigned 14 to 22:30 on April 7. It also shows her initials by my name at 13:58 when I picked up the keys. I circled both and dated the paper. 4:22 p.m. I called the payroll helpline from the break room phone. Menu, option 3 for timekeeping. A rep answered after 2 minutes. I gave my name, store number, and the request ID. The rep read the entry. Manager declined. System shows store-level rounding is allowed. Edits require manager approval. I asked for a ticket to document the call. The rep opened case 11833 and emailed me a summary. I printed the email. Now I had a neutral record that showed my attempt, the rule they cited, and the barrier. Next, I tried the anonymous ethics line from the onboarding packet. The QR code still pointed to a dead page. I took a picture of the 404 screen on my phone. I also pulled the alarm panel log from the front desk binder. The panel shows zones armed and disarmed with times. It showed rear door secure 22:34:07 April. If the rear door locked at 22:34, my shift did not end at 22. I slipped that copy into my folder. The day pushed on. At 6:40 p.m., I asked Mark for my second break again. He shook his head. Make quota first. He wrote a tally on the whiteboard by the dock. I wrote the time and his words in my notes. I did not raise my voice. I did not argue in the hallway. Each line needed to stand clean on paper. Failure 1 taught me the path through forms stops at Mark. Failure 2 showed payroll waits on his approval and treats store rounding as a shield. I added new proof with each try. Request ID, decline comment, case number, schedule grid, key initials, alarm log. Each piece tied to a time, a name, or a system stamp. The wall stood in front of me by 8:10 p.m. Payroll locks on Wednesday morning. My request set declined. HR doors stayed shut without manager sign-off. I needed a lever above the store and inside the rules. The next move had to trigger an audit that reaches past Mark, hits the logs directly, and runs before the lock hits. Objective: restore my 29 minutes for April 7. Stop edits going forward. Trigger a clean audit before payroll locks on Wednesday morning. Time box: finish the packet by 8:30 p.m. Tuesday. Send 3 requests by 8:45 p.m. Get a written response before 9 a.m. Wednesday. Tools: Cronus changelog, camera stills with on-screen time, alarm panel log, schedule grid with my assigned 14 to 22:30, preview stub with the 52.20 shortfall, Mark's text from March 24, 2 coworker portals that show similar trims, payroll helpline case 118733 email. Step 1. Build a single PDF. Title page with my name, store 414, week of 07 APR to 13 APR. Timeline from 14:02 clock in to 22:31 clock out. Changelog screen with edit by M. Hart at 09:11. Camera still at 22:29:52. Camera still at 22:31:08. Alarm panel line rear door secure 223407 APR. Schedule grid with my assigned close. Page 7, preview stub with the missing 029 reflected in net. Page 8, Mark's text that bans overtime on closes. Page 9, coworker examples with their permission notes. Last page, payroll case 118733 email. I saved as one PDF, 11 pages. 8:32 p.m., I built the packet. Title page with my name, store 414, week of 07 APR to 13 APR. Timeline from 14:02 clock in to 22:31 clock out. Changelog screen with edit by M. Hart at 09:11. Camera still at 22:29:52. Camera still at 22:31:08. Alarm panel line rear door secure 22:34:07 APR. Schedule grid with my assigned close. Preview stub with the shortfall 52.20 after taxes. Mark's text from 24 March. 2 coworker examples with permission notes. Payroll case 118733 email. I sent the audit email, subject, request for timekeeping audit, store 414, week of 07 APR. 2, regional HR inbox, copy, payroll ops, loss prevention, district manager. First line named case 118733. 4 bullets in the body, hours worked with proof list, edit event with name and time, wage impact for me and pattern across team, request to restore, 029, reverse edits across week, and place a hold on manager edits pending training. I set a deadline, 0900 Wednesday. I asked for loss prevention to hold video from 21:45 to 22:45, 07 APR. 8:46 p.m., auto replies arrived. HR ticket, HR 59421. Payroll ticket, PAY 77219. Loss prevention ticket, LP 2083. I printed each. 8:49 p.m., I walked to the dock. Mark pushed a fresh pallet toward me. "You done with emails?" he said. "Yes," I said. He grinned. "Make quota first, then think about breaks." I noted the time and his words. I kept moving cases. I kept my notes open in my apron pocket. 9:12 p.m., surprise 1. Chronos showed a new edit on Tuesday itself. Changelog. Edit by M. Hart, 2011. The total shifted from 8:32 worked to 8:15, a 17-minute cut mid-shift. I screenshotted the log. I took a photo of the whiteboard tally he wrote at the dock. Pallets 24 by 2200. I wrote one line. Edit during shift in progress. 9:18 p.m., I printed the current time card at the front kiosk. The footer shows print time. This copy proves the mid-shift edit. I placed it in my folder. 9:27 p.m., Nina emailed her one-line statement. My hours on 31 March and 02 April dropped after entry, edit tag M. Hart. Darnell sent his within 5 minutes. Both attached screenshots. 9:41 p.m., Loss Prevention replied. Video hold in place for store 414 07 APR 2145 to 2245. Retention extended to 30 days. Pull request created. I printed the email. 9:56 p.m., District Manager replied, short and clean. Received, HR looped. Please keep all communications in writing, no signing of new forms until HR review. I pinned this on my clipboard. 10:10 p.m., Mark called me to the office. A single sheet sat on the desk. Rounding acknowledgement. No policy code, no reference number, no signature from HR. He slid a pen across the desk. Sign, he said. I will sign once HR sends the policy, I said. He tapped the desk. Sign now, I said. I will wait for HR. I wrote one line on a blank page. Decline to sign non-policy form at 2212 on 08 APR. I dated and signed my note. I walked out. 10:24 p.m., I took my second break, 10 minutes in the break room. I wrote the start and end times. I logged my steps each minute until close. 10:33 p.m., close complete. I printed the final time card for Tuesday. I sealed one packet copy in an envelope for the district manager. I dropped it in the safe slot. I emailed the same PDF to my personal inbox for a time-stamped copy. 10:51 p.m., final step. I added a note to case 118733. New edit occurred 2011 on 08 APR while shift active. Evidence attached. The packet sat in 3 systems: HR, payroll, loss prevention. Video hold in place, district manager on record, marks fresh edit on Tuesday now inside the case with time and name. The clock for payroll lock ticked toward morning, but the audit wheels already turned. Wednesday, 8:07 a.m. HR replied to ticket HR 59421. We reviewed your packet. Hold placed on edits. Payroll looped. 2 minutes later, payroll wrote on PAY 77219. Off-cycle correction ready if lock occurs. Awaiting HR confirmation. Loss prevention sent a second note on LP 2083. Video pulled, copy archived. 8:33 a.m. The district manager emailed the store. No acknowledgments or new forms. All time changes frozen pending review. He scheduled a visit at 2:30 p.m. He copied HR and payroll. He copied me. 9:11 a.m. HR sent the first outcome. Restore 029 on 07 APR. Restore 017 on 08 PR. Reverse edits labeled rounding across week 07 APR to 13 APR. They attached a one-page directive. No rounding of time. Edits require 2 approvers. Written policy must be visible to staff. They asked payroll to issue back pay for the week. They asked loss prevention to retain all close footage for 7 days. 10:02 a.m. My portal refreshed. Monday showed 829. Tuesday showed 832. The weekly total increased. The preview stub changed. Net shortfall $52.20 reversed. I printed the new stub and slid it into my folder. 10:17 a.m., Nina texted me a screenshot. 2 days fixed for her. Darnell sent his next. Same result. HR copied both on the directive. Each of us now had a case number and a paper trail. 2:34 p.m. The district manager arrived. He met with Mark in the office. The door stayed open. He read the directive out loud. He pointed at the kiosk. Policy must be posted here. He turned to me. Thank you for the packet. He asked me to step out. 15 minutes later, he called me back. Outcome on Mark. Removal of timekeeping rights for 60 days. Final written warning and file. Mandatory training on meal and rest breaks by Friday. A follow-up audit of the last 90 days at store 414. HR to contact anyone owed back pay. All edits frozen until a second approver is assigned. He handed me a copy of the memo with a signature. Thursday, 9:06 p.m. Payroll processed the off-cycle payment. Deposit posted at 10:11 a.m. The advice listed line items by date with the restored minutes. The note said, corrected per HR 59421. Friday afternoon, the policy sheet went up at the kiosk. No rounding, no edits without employee notice and 2 approvals. A break tracker sheet appeared in the break room. The old ethics QR code now pointed to a live page. I scanned it to confirm. I printed that confirmation and filed it with the rest. Relief feels simple. My hours equal my time again. Breaks happen on schedule. No more hallway arguments. No more missing minutes on the portal without a name and a reason. Coworkers saw the steps, not noise. They saw receipts, not drama. The store feels different when the clock speaks for itself. The lesson is simple. Keep your own notes. Pull logs. Ask LP to hold video. Route above the store. Write short, clear lines. Dates, times, names, and amounts move systems. Anger does not. I thought fights over pay needed noise. They need dates, names, clear lines. I learned to write the day first, then the time, then the action. Clock in, break, clock out. Edit noted, camera confirms. The alarm log agrees. Each line stood. Each line moves someone who could fix the problem. Policy without paper is a trick. If a rule is real, you can read it. Ask once in writing, save the answer. Breaks are wages. When a break disappears, your pay shrinks. Log the denial, build a record, not a scene. Helplines feel slow, yet their case numbers open doors. Loss prevention is a clock with memory. Ask it to remember for you. Small proof stacks into change. My minutes came back. So did Nina's. So did Darnell's. The policy went on the wall. The edits stopped. The store felt quiet again. That is the ending I wanted.